conflict management needs to be a number one priority for you guys. So we're going to focus now in this episode on how to actually have the conversation. All right. So we talked a lot about the theory, the psychology. Now you're going to have some brass tacks stuff, how to handle the conversation that you have to have with her. All right. So now, first of all, let's say something happens. Let's say she says something that indicates maybe that she lied about, some guy she used to bang in her past or something like that. But it's what she says. Nobody notices it. Understand a lot of times women will do that on purpose too, to try to have power over you. Sorry, ladies. I'm going to talk about male, female nature sometimes. A lot of times it's me talking about bad things women do. That doesn't mean you do it, all right? You just got to accept that that's what a lot of guys are looking for on my channel anyway. But sometimes there are women out there that will intentionally cross a boundary in such a way where I'm innocent, I didn't do anything, in order to try to get a reaction out of you. And then when you react poorly to what she just did, then she gets to have power over you now by being victimized by your reaction. See, you are just insecure and you are just, out of line, and you're just crazy and how you responded. And, I did this little thing and I get what you're saying, but you're messed up. You see what I mean? And so don't allow for that manipulation. It's a baiting tactic. It's called baiting. I'll talk about that more and other things. But some women will bait you into an immediate reaction because she knows it's a trigger point for you. But she'll do it in such a way where other people in a social scenario won't notice. All right. And so here you are stewing and being mad about something when she's just, baiting you. And then she gets to go, well, what's wrong with you? You see what I mean? It's a way of gaslighting too. So we'll recognize that. And if a woman is doing that, then in a proper conversation, you need to be able to call out that behavior. And if she can't fix that behavior, and if she's doing this stuff on purpose and she's not fixing it, then she's a manipulative woman, and maybe you need to next her. You don't want to fall victim to being baited, and you don't want to be with somebody who's going to intentionally always try to shit test you like that. Do you know what I mean? That's not a good scenario to be in. So you need to remove yourself from that kind of a commitment if it continues. That being said, though, you don't want to have that immediate reaction. So what do you have to do, though? And I said this in the last video, you have to let it go like it didn't happen, and you compartmentalize it. This is where your emotional self-control happens. And so you need to let it go, have a great night, like nothing happened. All right? Well, do not do what women tend to do, which is punish the behavior. Okay. And I hear what I mean by punishing the behavior, because that word gets thrown out a lot. So I need you to understand what I mean by it. Punishing because you're building a resentment for her for something she did is womanly behavior. All right. So there's a difference between punishing and consequence. Punishing is like, I'm going to act mad and emotionally off because she said something I didn't like. And then she has to go, what's wrong? And then I go, nothing, or we'll talk about it later, or whatever. And I'm intentionally allowing or permitting my emotions to, be thrown off by her behavior. It puts you in the weaker position when you do that. That's what women do, right? The infamous, okay, what's wrong? I'm fine. We'll talk about it later. We're okay. I'm whatever. And then they want to punish you by being in an attitude, passive aggressively. That is what the less dominant person in the relationship does. So if that's you, and that's the message you're sending if you do that you're not the dominant person in this relationship. You don't have frame. If you're the one who is getting mad and butthurt, but I'm not going to bring it up because I watched this great show and Paul said to talk about it later. So I'm going to talk about it later. So, but now until I talk about it, I'm going to be mad and upset to let her know that I'm upset. So then she goes, what's wrong? And then I go, well, we'll talk about it later. You know what I mean? Like, that is some womanly shit. All right. And you don't want to do that. And we've all done it. All right. Everybody here has done that before. Okay. But when you think about it, that's what the person in the weaker position does because it's passive aggressive. So what you want to do is maybe she says something you don't like, you give her a look, she kind of knows what happened, and then you just kind of go back like nothing happened. She knows what happened. She knows what's up. If there's a conversation later or a serious boundary discussion, you know what I mean? She knows it's coming. You don't need to sit here and be, I'm going to pout and be mad and then not talk about it and then make her, try to figure out my feelings. Oh, what's wrong? That's not her job. That is a weaker thing to do. And you guys are killing your relationships with that kind of behavior. So don't do that. You're also killing your relationships with having an emotionally uncontrolled immediate reaction to things. Okay. So you can't do that. Those are two very weak things. And she needs to feel your strength and respect and trust and know your strength in order to follow it and follow you. And that behavior is making her feel your weakness and the power that she has over you. And so it's not good. Okay. So you don't want to punish. All right. Now, consequences are different. Consequences is like she's acting unpleasant to be around. Right. And because she's acting unpleasant to be around, I'm gonna run some errands and hit the gym. I'll talk to you later. I'm not gonna pout now and stop around the house. But if like she's acting unpleasant, I'm like, are you all right? Like, what's the matter? No, nothing. I'm fine. Okay, cool. So then I'm gonna say, all right, well, you seem to be in a bad mood. No big deal. You figure it out. I'm gonna run to the gym and run some errands, and you leave. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Right? That's not the same as punishing behavior. That's having a boundary. And the boundary is I don't want to be around someone who's unpleasant. And so I'm going to take myself out of that situation. And that's the consequences. She doesn't get to be around you. Right. Maybe she does something and you got to cut it and end a date or like it's bad. Right. Or whatever. And you have to end a date early. It requires more of an immediate reaction. It's not to punish her. It's because you're not going to allow her to cross boundaries. Right. And not have consequences. So consequences are okay. But punishing through emotional manipulation is womanly. So understand the difference between those two. So when you go to have that conversation later, she might not even see it coming, and that's okay. That's probably a good thing. All right. Learn to let things go in the moment and then bring them up at a more productive time. Just shutting your mouth and going on with the evening and having that no F's given attitude about whatever and have fun as if it did not, whatever offense, whatever thing happened, you're not going to worry about it right now because you know that the outcome is going to be good regardless. And that's, in a sense, an outcome independent sort of mindset. Whatever the outcome is with this discussion we're going to have, it's going to be fine because I'm the man in this relationship. I have frame. I know her and I know the type of woman she is. I know the type of guy I am. I know the strength that we have. If I miscalculated that, we're not going to last, then okay. But I mean, then that'll be okay too, right? If it ends that, I guess, then that's the conclusion of it, then good. If it sticks together, we're stronger, than good. Like I'm not worried about it. We're just gonna have a good night. You see what I mean? Learn to compartmentalize. I have the Mindset Summit happening so you guys can learn these things. And those of you who have already bought the Mindset course, go back into that stuff. You should be doing those activities a little bit every single day to sharpen your mind. If you're working your body out, right, to take care of your body, you need to work your mind out too, so you can handle these things.